going to talk a little about cutting. I thought I would give a demonstration on how I straighten out a piece of fabric to cut strips from so that I don't have a bend in the fabric. I'm looking at this one, you see a pretty good bend in this one. It's straight off the bolt. So I tried to take my fabric and fold it and try to get it along that fold that came off the bolt, which is often not very accurate. And then I lay it down on my table like this and match my selvage edges as best I can. And then I take the iron and iron it smooth. And as you can see, maybe you move this. The fold on the bolt from the bolt is not the same as the fold that I have come up with, and I try to make it as smooth as possible. And I think using the iron gets those wrinkles out, gets things to lay flatter, and it's an important part of cutting. So I'll press this a little bit and then start with the cutting. As you can probably see, there is a bit of a waste here, is what I call it. And so I'm going to trim that waste up, make a clean cut, and trim the waste away, and then start with my strips. Now, I line my fold up on a line on my mat, and then on the bottom, I try to get it on a line and see just how far my fabric is off. This is pretty good, and I'm gonna make a clean cut here, and then we'll see what happens with it. Do you have a bigger ruler here? I use a weight on my ruler. I'm using the mat numbers as a guide for my straight line down the side. And then where is the here. Take the rotary cutter. I've learned from experience to be very careful with the rotary cutter. And I usually put a weight on here, which I learned from watching Donna Jordan on her videos. She's so good. Okay, and so I take my rotary cutter and make a straight cut, and then I check it by looking at the line, and it looks straight to me. Does it to you? Okay. So now then, to cut my strips, I'm going to make a second fold. I fold my two pieces together, and I put it here, and then I might use my smaller ruler for that. And I'm going to cut 1.5 inch strips for some inner border that I'm making for a quilt. And I line those up with my ruler. This is lined up with my ruler. It's a little hard to cut with the, but here we are. I'm left-handed and he's right-handed. So we'll do this way. Get your edges together, and I try to be very accurate with my ruler when I'm putting it to cut with. I try to have that black line all the way down the fabric so that you can see that the fabric is immediately under that black line. And the lines on this particular brand of ruler, which is Quilter's Select, are very thin and nice. They're a little thicker on this one, but this is a really good a ruler too. So I'm going to make a It's going to be really embarrassing if it's crooked. Well, it already is because I didn't fold it right. But we'll do it again. But there's no bend in it. So I can't use this, but I could use the next one. So I'll cut one more and we'll see what happens. I just didn't get my pieces lined up straight with the other one. So no bend. Yay!
Yay!
If you have any questions, please address the crowd. Thank you.
Thank you, Shula.